So Chris, I just want to say I appreciate you. I thank you. I think you're a strong, righteous brother doing great things. I admire you. I respect you. I just wish you the best. So thank you for all that you contribute with your ideas and your time. So cheers to that. Happy birthday.
Hey, listen, that's, I mean, it's the simple things, man. I just came from dinner with my wife and, a couple friends. We do that every single year with all our birthdays. So it's like a tradition. But, to come and spend some time, doing some good things with my friends who believe in the same things as I do, who actually work towards it. It's huge. So I really appreciate that. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you for real.
Always. Yep. Thank you, Chris. All right, so Bilal, we're gonna get started. Sorry to cringe in on your time, but we're definitely gonna get.
No, this is what I planned on doing, so don't worry about it.
So tonight, y'all, the major miracle comeback with Bilal. Is it Marquise?
Marcus.
Okay. Bilal Marcus is with us, joining us. He is the founder of Miracle Comeback. We're going to learn more about that in a moment. But before we do, we're going to get right into our sponsors for the evening. So shout out to Protect Your Hearts clothing line. Shout out to Another Quality Lifestyle. The G Spot, of course, is there. I'm moving that all around. Final Cut Multimedia. My main man, Bo Black, and at T.Y. Little. What's happening, y'all? Appreciate y'all. Much respect. Bilal, you made this last week, and I was like, yo, that's pretty dope. Like, just super creative and just around and involved in things. So I really love this.
Okay, thank you.
So thank you. First of all, thank you for being here. I had a chance to talk to you a little bit to learn more about what you do, your mission, your story, the impact, and it is phenomenal. So I'm glad you took the time to come and talk to us. You are grown, and so we don't always get that that home feeling, that vibe within Milwaukee, because what you've done has kind of expounded upon where we are. So we're going to look at what you're doing, let our people know what's going on in our own community, and really promote and support what you all have going on. Quiet on set, please. That includes water, dishes.
Okay.
So over 10 years ago, Bilal, something happened, something that really changed your life of the people around you. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Well, basically, can you hear me clearly, first of all?
You're a little loud. Very
okay, clear. Let me see. How's that? Is that better?
That's much better.
It's a new headset, that first time using it. So in 2008, my two boys, who were about 12 and 15 at the time, I was a single father of 3 at the time, too, a daughter who was like 11 or 12 at the time. And my older boys started getting, well, they're not older, but they're old, 12 and 15, started getting involved in gangs. As a single father, it was really difficult for me because I cared about my kids, but I never thought, I thought being a single father was hard enough, then having to deal with them either, possibly being killed or, or whatever goes out there, what happens out there. So I was trying to keep them together, trying to, and I got a job that I wasn't very happy with at the same time. But when 2009 came along, I was living on 16th in Greenfield, and one of my older boys ran away, and I put papers all over the city, the south side of the city, to embarrass him, basically, to come home. And it seemed to work, but, that wasn't the solution. But I knew it would, at least whoever he's with would be scared to keep him. And he came home, and then this is like October, let me see, July 2009 now. And then I decided to move 4 miles south, to get away from the south side and try to start over. So, and that was on August 2nd, 2009. So I'm just kind of getting into August 3rd, the next day is when the Miracle Comeback basically started. The next day, which was August 3rd, 2009, they're helping me unpack. My daughter was staying at a friend's house. And they decided to go for a little bicycle ride for an hour, which ended up being hours. And I didn't have a car at the time, so I decided I know where they are. I jumped on the bus, went back to the south side. And exactly, I found one of them on the computer in the Southside Library, and told him to go get his brother right now. We're going home. And then he said, okay, I'll get him, disappeared. So I knew this was a cat and mouse game. And I didn't talk to, I didn't have many friends. I didn't want many friends. I just was trying to keep them off the street. So I couldn't make a lot of phone calls. I mean, I knew people, but not people that would come help me on that side of town. And I decided I was walking around asking people for about 4 hours. And it was, sun's ready to go down. And you could basically see everything in my book, and I'll get into that later, is how it happened exactly. And I get on the bus, go home. I get home about 8. They're not there. So I put a note up on the door and tell them to meet me at the restaurant. So I walk 2 miles to the Greek Oakland Euro restaurant, and I sit there just wasting time, hoping that they'll be home. And then when I get home after stopping at my friend's house, it's like 11:15. I'm getting my shoes off. They're not there. And then I hear my son, who's downstairs. I lived upstairs, the apartment, and at that time, 13th and Grange. And he says, Daddy, get up. And this is my older one. I think he still calls me Daddy today. And he's 28. He's 28 years old. That's and he says, come on, there's a lady outside, because he didn't drive at the time. He's 15. And then he says, we got to go to, Rashid was hit by a car. And we go to the police. There's like 20 or 30 cops out there, places taped off, and my son isn't there. And I kid out like a crazy man, and I look like some kind of drunk running out there. They have no idea why I'm there, why I'm yelling. And these cops, this white cop, I'm arguing with him. He's ready to arrest me. And then African-American cop comes over, and I'm explaining why I'm there. And then he calms down. He says, just get to the hospital. Your son it's serious. Okay, so we go to the hospital, and I'm sitting there for hours. And then finally, detectives take me in the room. They're giving me tissue, and they're basically, from what they know, they don't have all the information yet, but it doesn't look good. Then the doctors come out there, which is not a good sign. When they're telling me he basically has like a 5% chance to survive. They put him in an induced coma because he was so much stuff happened. He had lost a kidney, half his liver, broke his pelvis, crushed a lung, and then 46 pints of blood I found out later, because I didn't know about that yet, because he was still in the process of trying to save him. So yeah, 46 pints of blood in surgery. A body carries like 12 to 14 pints, and I had no idea what that meant. But yeah, so here we are. It's August 3rd, going into past midnight and stuff like this, and then I get on the computer after I hear about that, and I just ask people to pray that he survives, and if he doesn't, that he's not in pain and he goes to heaven. And that's all I could do. And then people kind of traveled. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to pause you there, because that kind of leads us into the next thing. He ended up surviving. Rashid ended up. He
did survive, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he woke up out of a coma. I believe it was August 9th.
So what happened after that? What triggered this MCB? Tell us about that.
Well, I mean, it was the way that he, came out of the coma. He was standing up on August 11th, and they were ready to send him home August 17th. And I said, hold on, this is too much. I mean, it's good he survived, but now you're trying to put him home, kick him out of the hospital. I mean, so I got them to keep him till the 25th, because it was costing them, I don't know anything about that, but I found out it was like $7,000 to $10,000 a day to keep him. So they were going to kick him out, but I kept trying to hold off. I need to find us, because he's still, he's weak. He's long. He looks like a little feather. So I didn't know what to do. So basically what happened, he went home August 25th, started school back to September 9th. And I started learning about the importance of blood, blood donors, something I've never donated before. And then we wrote an article, and I have it somewhere, but anyways, someone wrote a newspaper article in the Spanish Journal, and they called it Miracle Comeback. They interviewed my kids, and that was the end of, I think it was end of 2009 or something like that. And that stuck in my head, Miracle Comeback. I never thought of it, you know what I mean? And then the MCB part was, I came up with the art. And unfortunately, I just met the guy who did the design for me back in 2010 for that. He died. I just met him before he died, but I saw him, every time I did the delivery, he was always at the liquor store. So he died of alcohol poisoning, I believe. He was a nice guy, too bad. But, I was trying to get him involved with what I'm doing, but he was too involved at the liquor store, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, but I talk to his family sometimes, because I like the guy. But that's where it came from. There, and then that name just stuck with me. I started doing like a lot of different newspaper articles, trying to get the message out there. It wasn't about blood donations yet. It was just about getting my son to do something positive. You survived, write some articles, do something, teach people a lesson, what not to do.
When did it, Bilal, become about the blood? When did you say, you know what, this is something that we could spread maybe beyond Wisconsin? When did that happen?
Oh, the Beyond Wisconsin thing came out about 2012. When I met Elvis Tao in 2011, and you know him because that's how that. Yeah, shout out Elvis, because actually I found you because of, because of what you interviewing him. That's how I came across meeting you. Yeah. And he actually I found him on Facebook, and I've already seen the movie Gran Torino, and here I am talking to a Hollywood guy, and he's just like, yeah, let's meet at Denny's. We go there and we eat at Denny's. It's like, what? Who am I? I'm a guy. Actually, at that time, I was doing really bad too, life-wise. I didn't let no one know. I was in a hotel. It was just hard times. I had my 3 kids in a hotel for 2.5 months. But, I didn't let nobody know because we went on the street. But, yeah, he met us over there, and we ate. And it's ever since that time, he's been, basically the co-founder of MCB. He's done so much, for us to keep me going.
He's been such a great ambassador. I have some photos that I'm going to share with the audience, and we can kind of talk through them. I'm here.
Sure.
I don't know what that is, and you can tell us, because it sounds like you are in several countries in Africa, several countries in South America. Is that correct?
Yeah, South America, we're working on some of those. Yeah, we had one in Nicaragua, then Guatemala, but not so active right now. Most of the activity is mostly in Southeast Asia and Africa.
Okay.
But we are in places like Barbados and Haiti too.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so it's a global impact, obviously. And we have a couple of the places here, and I'm gonna do a little quiz with you a little later about some of the places that you're touching. But Gambia, what was the mission in Gambia, and how did you guys impact Gambia?
Actually, the guy right there that's standing next to me, he's Gambian. I talk to him still. He's in Madison. His name is Sal. But Gambia, I got in contact with them from years and years ago. IO Jack, they're really into actually what I do. They're into blood donations. It's really a big thing there, which has really made it easy to get there. And the Gambian people, I know pretty well here. I have a lot of friends, and I like their character. They're real easygoing, as far as that part of Africa, and then Senegal also. But yeah, Gambia, I got into one of the most famous groups in there too, called Poetic X. And they all joined us too, and they made some songs, and Elvis did some songs with them too that haven't come out yet, called Give and Celebrate, which I gotta kill Elvis if we don't get that out soon, because I love those two. But yeah, we have about 7 or 8 strong people in Gambia.
Okay. And then Tanzania, there was a bike ride. It looks like maybe someone lost their life. And I know you didn't really touch on this, but Rashid, was he riding a bike? He rode his bike through a red light and was run over by 2 SUVs, one going east and then the other one going west. Wow. So he was hit and run over twice. I still actually have his bicycle and the clothes, because I used to bring him to the blood drives. I have his bicycle. It's up in the attic. And I just want to show how detailed this is. If you all look right here, there's the bicycle spokes right here in the logo.
Yes.
How meaningful that is.
And the truck tire on the outside, yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, brother.
Yes.
For all these places that you're going in and you're promoting these blood drives, and they're all different places with different needs. When you think about Black people in America and the dissent that some of us have against actually donating blood, or body organs, or things of that nature for the health of someone else. But when you compare it to other countries, what do you see? Are there any trends that you see that are the same, or do you see people who are more susceptible to actually to give blood, to donate blood in different places? Or where are some of your more challenges at?
That's a good question. I mean, people that I've met like throughout Africa are ready and are willing and able. If they're able, I mean, if they're able to, they will. Basically, I haven't read. With COVID-19 became a little challenge, I think, because people are afraid, a little bit more. But when somebody gets out there and talks to them about it, actually this ain't gonna. We need more blood now than we did before. I try to, talk to people about that. But I haven't really. There is some people that maybe some people can't donate blood, but I really haven't fell into that. Came into that where people. It seems like big groups. There's a lot of groups of people, and you'd be surprised in Africa that do this even before I even got in contact with them. And there's a lot of new ones too that never done it before and are happy they're doing it. We've saved lives of some MCB family members. Because they got up at 2 a.m. and ran to the hospital and donated blood for them and got other people to help them. So, there's always challenges, I think. And I think we're doing a good job here, too, as far as people donating. Mm-hmm. It's a little different out there, man. You'll be donated out there in the sand or in the grass, sitting on lawn chairs. Mm-hmm. But people do it. Here we have air conditioning, free food. You expect, I don't know. It's different, but people really love to help one another. I've noticed in Africa, Southeast Asia, where we are.
And you guys out there to those places?
I met someone online his name is Fairness Banks in Uganda. And it took them about 2 or 3 months to figure me out, to make sure I wasn't, scamming them or, like we do with other people, because sometimes I might get scammed. But once he looked into the history and that I wasn't, we became friends. And then once he did it, it took off. Not like overnight, but it seemed like it. Nigeria, then Gambia, and all these other places just started opening up. And it wasn't an overnight thing. It took a long time and a lot of time for me. But I would do it the same way again if I had to do it all over again. I don't regret none of it. It's really time and then money, because we gotta. Like here, we have everything, like I said, free. You got free everything. But over there, you got to pay for stuff. If you want to have a good blood donation, because we want to get shirts to people. We want to donate stuff. We want to get people involved. You got to give stuff sometimes for people to actually get out there and do it. Whether it's food, they have weird names of stuff. They call them biscuits and little bags of stuff. Like here, you go up into the line, you go get some donuts, some juice, and whatever you want. You keep going. But there, they're happy to get something. They just, even if it's a bracelet, they'll go donate blood if it says MCB bracelet. They just want to feel like they're getting something in return, not just saving a life, but it's okay.
Okay. So as a result of the things that you've experienced with your children, you have published some books.
Yes, I have.
So Miracle on Greenfield, The Secret Life of Panji.
Yes.
Panji is one of your other children, right?
My youngest, yeah, he's 6 now. Yes.
Okay. So tell us about this. How did the book come about? How did even the Miracle on Greenfield, which I think Miracle on Greenfield is the newest book. Is that correct?
No, Miracle on Greenfield is my first book. I actually wrote this. Can you see it there? Because I can't see myself. Yep. You can see it, right? Yep. Okay. I wrote this book in 2012. This one right here. I wrote it in 2012. Believe me, I have a hard drive that I'm lucky I didn't destroy it, because it sat in my hard drive for 8 years. 8 years. Imagine that. 8 years. What do you know how many, how long that is? Older, that's longer than my son's 6 years old, longer than his life. But, I got engaged to my ambassador of MCB in the Philippines back in 2020, and we got married 2021. She pushed me to get this published. She stood up day and night trying to figure out how to book. I had no idea, because, women sometimes have this thing that they can do that guys can't do. Like for me, the technical stuff, I don't even want to touch it. I'll write a book in 2 hours. But I can't like do stuff that she does, but she gets all the hard part done for me. I think, and I published it in 2020. And then this one came out, if you can see that. I wrote this one in no little son who got involved in my organization when he was 5 years old. Actually 4.
Show that one again. for us, Bilal? I think that's the one we had up, The Secret Life of Panji. Okay.
Panji, yes. And this is going to be a 3-book series. I'm already halfway done. In May or June, my 3rd one's coming out. Book.
Okay. Who's your target audience with this installment, with these 3 installments?
You talking about who's buying them?
Well, yeah. Who are you trying to reach out to?
I reach out to anybody, any and everybody, because especially this one. I mean, not just this one. They're kids' books, but they have a message for everybody.
Right. They
have a message because we all, like this. It's my next books are going to touch on racism. It's going to touch on this one touches on manners. Mm-hmm. Everything that we deal with in life. We're dealing with racism, which is a hot topic. We're dealing with bad manners. Hopefully we can get some good manners, and how to be respectful to elders. Something that we've lost. Just so many different topics. Like I'm writing one on kidnapping. My son's going to be like, it's going to be like superheroes are going to go out there. I want to be able to teach the kids how not to be alone. Not to be left out there in the playground alone because kids are getting kidnapped. And things like this. And bullying. That's another one I'm going to be working on. Bullying. So I've already wrote 6 books ahead of this one. It's just a matter of my artists catching up.
So it seems like your kids have a huge impact on your decisions in your latest ventures that you have going on.
Well, yeah, my little one basically gave me a new just got me motivated that and he's involved in it and he likes it, and it just gives me something that I think that could touch on his life and others and my grandkids when they come up. I hope.
So. Music, you touched on music a little bit earlier. I know that's something that you want to do more of and that you have done already, which is very impactful, and you want to kind of spread the love. Talk to us about some of the projects that you've done and how that's transformed for you.
Yeah, the music thing I think started because of Elvis Towle. He made our first song called 46 Pints. As you know, that's how many pints my son lost. And that's like the MCB in the song. And it's on my YouTube channel too. And we didn't make a music video out of it, but the song. And I got the 6 Somali children. They were like between 2 and 7 or 8 at the time, maybe a little bit older. They were on that corner when it happened to my son, when he got in that accident. They were our neighbors. So I actually got them and brought them in the studio, and they had a little part to play at the end of the song, 46 Pints, which is kind of cool.
Sorry.
And have you ever heard of Black Wolf? He's another singer, a Milwaukee singer.
What is the name?
Black Wolf.
Black Wolf?
I have.
Okay, so if you know him, he made a song called A Golden Door, and Elvis also appeared in that one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that was basically how it started. Then I got songs from Gambia. I got musicians from Nigeria, Indonesia, Burundi. Soon, what else? Someone in the Malawi, they have a song that made a video already, and I don't even know about it. It's about MCB and how not to be scared because of COVID. You can still donate blood, so we're waiting on this. This is another surprise, but things got a little delayed because of COVID. Sometimes, so.
But getting the word out about COVID, and then your own messages or your own narrative that you're pushing as well. When you link up with these guys from different places, and it comes to music, do you think that puts you ahead of the game, ahead of the curve of other groups that are trying to do the same thing, but maybe not? They're not using their artistry to do it.
I think it does. It's for sure it does in the books. I mean, because. When it comes to promoting my books, because nobody I think has ever done that, and has so many different things, having professional athletes, having music involved, that's answering your question somewhat, because it wasn't about the music at first, but the music, they're all talking about MCB. They're talking about the importance of blood donations, and the books, and actually have some videos about the books, where we're wearing the shirts in there and stuff like that, the book ones. And all this comes together, and other people have volunteered to make songs. And I'm like, whoa, we have one guy that made 3 music videos in Burundi. And it's like, wow, how does this happen? But, it's getting the message out there. People are looking for something to do, I guess, like I was. They have this creative side, and we kind of put everybody together. We're like one big family. We fight, and then we love each other at the end of the day.
So, again, speaking of fighting, Bilal, and speaking of your music, there is some ties with that in the UFC. Can you expound upon that for us?
Oh, yeah. I talked to. I got in contact years ago with the Beast, Dan Severn. I got his phone number. I think you're younger than me. I'm sorry. What's your name again? I say my right.
Chris.
Chris, how old are you?
I'm 43.
You're younger than me. Do you remember Dan the Beast Severn? One of the early UFC, Dan Severn, the Beast.
Yeah.
The Roman drug. He's one of the first bare knuckle ones. You know, the big guy. He's an awesome guy, and he lives in Lansing, I think, Michigan. But anyways, I got in contact with him. He gave me his phone number. We talked. I was actually going to get him here, but the blood center was all, this is a couple years ago. We could have had this guy with his belts, UFC belts, and all this stuff, bringing people to donate blood. Why wouldn't they want to spend money? So it's something I hope when I get money through MCB, if we make money later on, I want to use it to bring some people such as Dan Severn and, because that brings people. They want, sign autographs, pictures. You got to donate blood to do that, But anyways, I got in touch with him. Then who else? Mark the Hammer Coleman, who lives in Ohio. And then my favorite one, well, because I talk to him a lot, is Gary Big Daddy Goodridge, who lives in Canada. And if anybody knows UFC, he had the scariest knockout in UFC history. Got a guy in a crucifix and probably elbowed him. I thought he killed the guy. He's a real cool guy, though. He was an arm wrestling champion for 12 years in a row, worldwide arm wrestling champion before UFC. And also played in the movie, what was it, with Sylvester Stallone, the arm wrestling one, Over the Top. Oh, yeah. He was one of the arm wrestlers. He was 19 years old, but he was one of those guys that came in, when at the end of the movie, arm wrestling. And he was in that movie. He got a spot in there because he was doing so good around the world arm wrestling. But yeah, we talk all the time, me and Gary. I hope we can meet up one day. But he made a video with wearing my shirt, not this one, but the cartoon, the Miracle on Greenfield shirt, the book, and it's on my channel too. And also, if anybody knows Kung Fu or karate, is Bill Superfoot Wallace, 50-year kickboxing champion. He's like the best. Bill Superfoot Wallace did the same thing for me. Got the shirt on, the book. He was in Florida, and he fought. He was friends with Chuck Norris, and he played the movie with Chuck Norris too, Force of One, and he gave Elvis Presley his black belt. So kind of cool stuff.
Okay, now that is something.
Yeah.
Have you ever wrestled? Because you definitely have the vibe.
I used to be the skinniest guy in town when I was a kid. I have some. I used to box back in the 80s and 90s, but then I was skinny. And then later on, I got into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and judo. But that was like early 2000. And then I put on some weight.
In Milwaukee?
In Milwaukee, yeah. Adrian Serrano. Yeah, he's a Milwaukee guy when he was over here on Lisbon. Yeah, my kids, I used to get them into judo too when my big one was young too. Back in the 90s over, but yeah, judo and judo.
You fought in some tournaments, huh?
One more time?
Fought in some tournaments?
In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu I did. Yeah, it was fun, but yeah, I preferred to watch the guys go do the kind of the UFC fights. I never got into those, but the guys that I was with, they, a few of the best ones, the students and the teacher, got into those, and they actually was in the UFC too back in the 2000s. Adrian Serrano was in there. What boxing I did.
If you could tell us one tidbit, one piece of advice that sticks with you, what would that be? That someone told you, whatever.
Donate blood every 3 months. Just donate blood, because one pint, as I've learned, can save up to 3 lives. And we could talk. If you can donate blood, you should. And you won't believe how short the blood center is with donors.
Now here's my thing. I know I want to get a little bit controversial when it comes to minorities, especially Black people, when it comes to donating blood, like we spoke about earlier.
Or people of color.
People of color, yeah, and not just blood, but also maybe in accidents where organs can be harvested. But when it comes to the people who actually need it, when you talk about poor people and people minorities, you know, them not these items not being accessible to them as it may be to other groups. What do you say about that? Because a lot of times that's a turnoff. That's a deterrent to even want to donate blood or anything. You know, what do you say to that message?
You know, you might be right. I don't have an answer for that because I've never been rich. You know what I mean? So I've been at the bottom, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I would check it out as much as possible to see, but here, I mean, you put me in the hot seat because I don't know really. Is that a problem? I mean, do you know people like this who are?
Well, that's the thing. You know, in the Black community, especially, you know, donating blood is almost to a taboo point. You know, point of view. I remember back in the day, you know, of course, in every high school they would have the blood donation days.
Yes.
But you know, you even have those things that are kind of, you know, coming to a halt. But I mean, and it's a lot of because it's due to previous, you know, superstitions about giving these things, you know, giving to yourself, and it not going to the people who may look like you, you know. So that was my only thing, you know. If you knew anything, if you wanted to expound.
No, maybe in like Africa or something like that. I've heard some people were kind of scared about that, but I've never heard it personally here because I brought people with me of all different races that donated with me. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't want to say, but like I said, I've heard some stuff like this in Africa where people were scared. It depends where. But you're telling me something that, you know, that's, you know, people feel like this. Maybe we need to talk about it more.
Right.
Yeah. So when Rashid was hit by the two trucks, Bilal,
yes,
he lost 46 pints.
In and out. Yeah, not at that moment, you know what I mean? Because the blood kept going in and out of him until they were able to stop it and stop. The 46 pints is what went in and out of him before they was able to save his life.
Okay, so it was
donors.
It was blood donors that saved his life.
46 people, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's important. So it does matter.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
More than one person. Yeah. So
I mean, I've heard of people 200. I mean, I've heard someone, you know, I've read it where it took 200 pints to save someone's life.
Oh wow.
You know, so it does. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If it's not there, what are you going to do? You're going to die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you don't have it available. What if only 45 pints were there? You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, I have a person that was important to me that passed away from a blood cancer. And he had to have, you know, transfusions every so often. So it was important to have that blood available in order for him to, to survive a little longer each day. So
I know a little girl. I just had a little girl. Her name is Tia Wilson. I'm not sure if you've seen some of my news footages where I brought her with me on the news. Her mother's Mickey. And I met her at one of my blood drives, and her daughter had sickle cell disease. And all her life. And today, I mean, she looked really, really bad at the beginning when I met her. She, you know, she lost her hair. She just thin. But I haven't seen her in a few years, but we talked. And she looks so good. I think it's finally just cleared up. I think she's, you know, all that blood. I mean, she just looks like she never had it before. She had lost family members. Her own brother died, you know, because both of her parents had it. You know what I mean? That one where all her kids got it. But a few family members of theirs died. But I was happy to see that Tia had made it, and she looks very good. So we try to keep in touch too, because I met her at one of my blood drives, and actually I got 2 books for her saved. It's just she's ready for the books. We just haven't met up in a little while.
But it's something we had to have this collective spirit of wanting to help each other, because you know it takes just more than one person to do it.
It does. And I honestly, when you said about me going out of the country, I've been trying to get back in here because I started off with the news footages and things like that. And because you know, I hope we get to meet soon in person. I mean, I don't think, you know, the COVID thing should stop us, you know, because people meet all the time. But I think I really want to start here because I started from the outside in, which helped me because when I'm here, people will see what we've established. Because it was easier for me to establish myself outside for some reason, you know, because people are just too busy here. But now that they see that I've done something or established something, maybe people will want to join here more now. That's what I'm hoping, you know. And now that I contacted you and, you know, we know each other and hopefully can meet soon. And I hope we can make something good here, whatever it is.
Yeah, I
There's too
mean,
much.
I definitely am looking at, forming a conglomerate, something, because there's so many people with so many skills, too many talents, and we have to harness that in and make it work. So hopefully we don't get shut down by the government, but
Yeah.
but we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work, Blau.
Yes.
What's been one of the largest growing pains through all of this for you?
Financially. I was gonna go grab my 3 bags of Western Unions and just dump them all out so you could see it. But you know what? I would do it all over again because I told people I spent so much money to make these things happen throughout the last 10 years. I could have had me probably a house. But I wouldn't do it all over. I would do it the same way again because it brought me so many sincere friends, so many lives saved, so many things that there's books. My little one learning how to open doors for people. I mean, that's what this book teaches. Learning these manners and wants to help me and this keeps me going. So I think I have something that I can carry on to my grandkids and my grandkids and grandkids. But just keep going. I'm hoping that this gets carried on when I'm gone. Because I feel like, there's something, it's getting bigger. I don't know.
So do you think your all these successes that you're having with everything that you're doing, everything that you're putting your hands on is something that's positive for people, collectively. Your 18-year-old self, do you see yourself in this position back then?
Say if I was 18?
When you were 18, your 18-year-old self, would you imagine yourself doing all of these things and going all around the world, meeting people who are like-minded and doing the things in those places, as well?
No, not at all. No, I don't. No, no, because this changed my life. I mean, I don't know where I would be today if I don't wish that on my son, but it happened, and this happened for a reason. I couldn't see this. I mean, I don't know what I could really see because, it kept me out of trouble, I think. It got me thinking positive thoughts because to answer your question, no, I couldn't see this.
Yeah, yeah.
So you have a beautiful family. You were recently married. I actually got that information. I was going to ask you about it, but you mentioned it.
Yeah.
I don't have your wife pictured here. I don't know is she Rakma?
Rakma Marcus, yes, from Philippines.
She's in the chat, honey. She says, "Hello, go, go, go. I'm from Mob Ambassador of the Philippines." Rakma.
All right.
Bilal, what made you know? How did you know that she was the one for you?
Well, it's a little, we had some rocky roads. I mean, she came to me when we were, just ambassador and she was helping me out, but I had a stone heart. She said that for a year. I had a heart of stone because of my last divorce. So she spent a year trying to soften it. So, I mean, I knew it was meant, but I wasn't ready. So as of, probably almost a year later after knowing her, I started to find myself again. I was afraid. I guess I just got to that point. I was just afraid to do anything or even, get into any marriage thing like this again, but things happen. She's got beautiful kids. My son loves her, my little one especially. And they're actually, I didn't mention this to you, but they started writing a little book together, her youngest daughter and my youngest son, called, it's a little book we started, but I came up with the idea called Blueberry Fields and Pizza Forever, because she's never had blueberries, but her daughter never had blueberries, but she wants to have it. And everybody loves pizza. So they were going to make this book where they were going to go out and sneak out and go get their favorite foods and get in trouble and learn a lesson. But my son's going to draw it. She wrote the story, but things got put behind right now. So hopefully this year we can get that done.
Well, I was going to ask you how influential is your wife in your ventures and everything that you got going on now?
Oh, she's very influential. With the whole book. Look at that. I wouldn't have been able to publish. She motivates me. She knows how I am. I write a book in 2 hours, 60 pages. But if you call me, I'm going to yell at you. She knows. I'll turn my phone off. I said, don't. When I'm thinking, I'm in a zone. don't text me, don't do nothing. I put my favorite song on the TV, and I'm she knows how I am. I just get in the zone and I just write. But yeah, she's motivates me.
I respect that. I respect you guys, just the appreciation, even Chris, that you have for your wives, and the love and support that they give too. And the fact that I get to, work with you guys and borrow you for the moment time. So that's important for me too. So much respect. Shout out to the wives. I really appreciate
International Women's Month too.
International Women's Day yesterday. So
yeah, I heard about that, and I was like, okay, that just popped up, and I wasn't even. I found it on Facebook. I was like, okay.
Put you on all the holidays, Blau.
Oh my God, I'm starting to hate Facebook though, because Facebook is giving me. They put me in Facebook jail so many times.
Okay, so do you know how many countries in total that you've done any kind of blood drive MCB work in?
I mean, like around 20 in Africa, and I'd say a little about 10. I'll say it's a 10 or 12 outside of Africa, meaning like you got Papua New Guinea. Now, does anybody know where Papua New Guinea is? I want to ask you. Do you know where Papua New Guinea is?
Yeah.
Okay, this is something new to me. When I started researching a little bit, I got into Papua New Guinea, and I got to talk to one of the big shot politicians there. He's like almost like a president, Gary Jufa. Really super cool guy. But anyways, I got it in Papua New Guinea, Pakistan, India, Philippines, Indonesia, Netherlands. We got a boxer out there. Netherlands. We do have a boxer in Togo too, Africa, which is he's 17-0, called the African Mike Tyson. His name is John Kudia. Shout out to him. And he's done plenty of blood drives with him, and he has banners with us on it with MCB. He brings out a T-shirt out to the ring. Professional. Love this guy. We're in Haiti, Barbados, so many other places.
Okay, so we're gonna do a quick quiz with you. Actually, I have a stop clock here.
Okay.
We're gonna give you a minute quiz, right? So you said approximately 30 places.
Yes.
We're gonna ask you then, Bilal,
you're gonna kill me.
to name at least 20 countries in 1 minute that you and MCB have worked or impacted.
Okay.
Wait. I'm gonna tell you when. Get it in your head. You got 5 in your head right now.
Can I Google it? No, I'm just kidding.
5, 4, 3, 2, 20 countries. 1, go.
Ghana, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, Togo, Burundi, Zambia, Tanzania, Kenya, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Indonesia, Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Pakistan, India, Barbados, Haiti, Milwaukee, U.S.
Where you at?
Did I make it? Did I make it?
Was he at 20?
20.
Okay.
35 seconds.
Yeah.
So I got to keep going?
No.
You got it.
Okay. I get $35. No.
All over the world.
Yes, that's beautiful, man. I love it.
I told some Africans that I know, I said, I bet I can count more African countries than you do, and you live there. Because I've been...
It's such a vast land, that's for sure.
Yeah, and did you know, this is something I learned. Did you ever heard of Mozambique?
Yes.
Their language is their native language. Do you know that?
What is?
What is their language? Their native language. Their most common language there. Do you know?
Mozambique is probably French, huh?
Or
they might speak French, but it's not their main language.
Is it Spanish?
It's close. That's close. What's close to Spanish? Yep. I did not know that until like about a year ago, that there's like 3 or 4 countries in Africa that speak, their main language is Portuguese.
But the thing is, it all depends on who went over there and colonized that damn country.
Well, yeah, Portuguese.
Yeah, exactly.
Portuguese was the first to go over there to colonize.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
interesting though.
It's all history, and a lot of Africans, a lot of people may not know or do know, are bilingual, trilingual, quadruple lingual. So the ability to converse in different languages is huge. What's next? What's next for, or what do you envision next for MCB, Bilal?
I mean, the books are definitely coming, but I got to keep other things going because, you know, the books take time and I don't want to lose people. So trust me, we have a meeting every week. It's all about motivating people. If you don't motivate people, you lose people. Or, you know what I mean? You got to always be out there cheering them on and getting them things to do. We have something big going on in Ghana. It's going to be a health walk. They did this a few years ago, and they get like hundreds of people on the street. They're going to be leading the street with our MCB shirts. Health walk. This is something that's been going on there, but they got the MCB involved. And he's got a big blood drive going on, the same person in Ghana. And then we have another music video, one of the biggest interviews in Burundi, who made the 3 videos, was just interviewed, and it's going international. And I got a 8-minute thing that like this, that I recorded myself, and they're going to add it to the news. That's going to be happening really soon. What else is happening? We just got so many different things going on. In Malawi, they're going to be doing a big blood drive. And what it is because, you know, like my books right here, they got my other book. We've had it printed up there instead of sending them there. You ever try sending anything overseas? It's not worth it. It's better to get it printed there. Like if you want to send a shirt, it's not worth it. You send them the logo and let them print it there. Right. So unfortunately, I have to do that with the shirts. So the books. And so in Malawi, we're going to he's going to print the books and shirts there, and then he's going to travel and bring them to Zambia. The lady Chungu, she's a school teacher in Zambia. She brought this book there, and it became part of the school library. It's stamped. This book is stamped in the school library as part of the property. And now this one is coming there next. So in about a couple weeks, you know, COVID slowed it down, so some businesses stopped. So you have to travel a little bit to get the book and shirt printed. So he's going to get this shirt printed and the books. And he's going to travel and bring her some and have some in Malawi. But getting them into the libraries and schools is really big over there. Yeah. And kids are really getting it because they're the next generation. My thing is to get these kids involved. You know, so you'll see in my next book, not this one, where we travel. So my little son is going to be talking about racism and how we need to stop this. And he's going to be like getting all these little kids involved wearing a superhero outfit in Africa, and they're going to be cheering them on, and they're going to be getting like their little in Brazil too, because we're in Brazil too. I didn't mention that, but Brazil, we have some really good people out in Brazil. So we're going to travel to Brazil, Africa, Indonesia, and Philippines in my next book. I'm not going to say everything, but it's going to be a pretty interesting one. My books are getting bigger. Like this one's going to be 10. The next one's going to be 10 pages longer than the one after that's going to be 10 pages. So we're going to be in the 60-something pages on the 3rd series of this Panji one.
I love it. I love what you're doing. I have some connections in Brazil, so let me know. We can talk.
Most definitely.
What ultimately is your mission with everything you're doing?
We have a guy in India who's an LA script writer. I mean, this isn't where it ends. I mean, basically, whatever we do, it's always going to be about donating blood. That's the core. The core of it, it's going to be about that. But we want to get it out there. Like we have a guy, he's stuck in India right now. He's a Hollywood script writer, but, you know, he can't come back here yet. But he has a connection there that this guy is interested in the story, a Bollywood producer. You know, I was going to have it made in Burundi, but, you know, this guy, but that would cost me there. It's a different story. That's a whole other story. And they will pay you. But, you know, if we can get it made anywhere, it doesn't matter to me. It's not like you can make me as to an Indian or an African. It doesn't make a difference because MCB is global. If you're going to make the movie, I don't care what color you make me, because that just shows you how global we really are. You know what I mean? I'll be an Indian speaking Urdu, or I speak Kirundi and Burundi. I don't care. But, you know, regardless.
That's a good way to look at it. I like that, Bilal. I like that. That's a good way to look at it.
Thanks. But if we do a movie, I want it based on the story of MCB. If we do a cartoon or anything else, I want it based on this. You know what I mean? The story of the Panji series, you know, because this isn't a nonfiction or a fiction. It has both, you know what I mean? So it's inspired by, this series is inspired by the true story, you know, so that's where I'm going. And I wrote some other books, you know. I wrote one about my mother, her life story. She's still alive at 90. And I wrote one about my best friend and about my life and different ones. So I wrote other books too. But we're just trying to get them out one at a time. It takes so long. It's a lot of energy. Very exhausting, trust me. It's not just me writing a book and that's it. I'm telling her how to design the picture. She's the artist in the Philippines. And then, you know, I had the Panji acts too. And if I don't, you know, I go on Google and I find a picture. I want it like this. But it's easier for me just to have me like Panji take a picture of me doing this and him, you know, holding a sign. You know, this is how we want this picture. So he's really a good actor. He helps me out a lot, my little one.
Do you have any advice for people who are looking to just be influential in their communities, change the world, provide whatever they can to help? Any advice?
Oh man, there's so many people out here with talents. That's the thing. So many people out there with talents, and they just don't have, you know, the people to guide them. Yeah. We need guidance. We need leaders, like you said. We need people that can, you know, bring the best out of somebody. And that's what I'm trying to do with my little one. You know, it's the advice would be just don't give up, my God, because so many people out there could do so much. And, you know, unfortunately, Milwaukee, I deliver. 90% of my deliveries are on the north side. And I see the issues. I see the accidents. I see how people drive. And I see how kids are being, you know, it's just like, we could do better than this. I used to live on the north side for half my life. You know, half the time I lived in Milwaukee, more on 35th and Silver Spring. Mm-hmm. And it's starting to get worse, you know. But the thing is these kids need us. You know, they need something. You know, there's so many, like I said, there's so much talent out there, but you know, kids are using it in the wrong way. You know, and it's like just if you got something, you got to be around positive people. I've learned that. I've shortened my people. You know what I mean? It's like you got to be around people that, you know, that will bring the best out of you, because otherwise, you know, you're gonna end up in jail or dead.
Yeah.
Decision. Life is about decision making. So.
Yeah, it just takes that 1 second. 1 second. 1 second will change your life forever, whether good or bad.
Big facts. A lot of people aren't here to talk about that 1 second. Yeah. Any last minute plugs? Any way that people can find your information? YouTube, shout out, social media. Yeah.
I mean, YouTube. I have an MCB YouTube channel, and you showed my logo. They just put in the YouTube MCB, and you see my logo, and you can find out stuff there. But you can connect with me through Facebook. I'm always I'm out of Facebook jail, so they can connect with me there. Bilal Marcus, BILAL MARKIS. And I hope this isn't where it ends for me in Milwaukee. I really hope this is the beginning. You know, so right there, basically, I made mistakes and put my phone number up, you know, before, and I get calls from Africa, people hanging up at me at 2 a.m. So I try not to do that.
You 2 a.m. is what, 6, 4, 5, 6?
Yeah, it's breakfast 8 or 9 or 10 over there in the morning there.
Yeah. Okay, well, Bilal, I really respect and appreciate what you're doing. I commend you and all your efforts, and just much love for what you've gone through and how you've used that to really tool and help the world. The world. Exactly. Yeah. And what you're doing is huge. If no one's ever, I'm sure they have, but as someone who has learned about this recently, fucking huge, like a huge deal. Know that your work matters. Know that it's important. I really respect it. I look forward to talking to you offline and and learning more about and promoting and supporting where I can. So we thank you so much. Any last minute words before we get out of here?
I mean, I want to thank you. Thank you for having me on. How long have you been on here, if you don't mind me asking?
It hasn't been a year. We're approaching our year anniversary. So
oh my God, you're a pro. Yeah. You're a pro. Stay with it. Stay with us. Let's meet up sometime. I really want to meet you in person, both of you. You know, so let's not let this COVID crap, you know, keep us apart. I try not to let this, you know,
anytime.
Change. You know, okay.
The thing is, with all the guests that we have on here, we like to do other things off camera, you know, and you know, put our efforts together to do the same thing, to push the same goal of peace and positivity and progress. So,
okay. All right. Yeah, just if anybody's listening or who's listening and can contact me, let's go donate blood together. You know, let's get a group together and go donate blood or talk about it, at least, if you're, like you said, if you're not sure about it, you've never donated blood before. You know.
Absolutely. Whenever you have any blood drives, let us know at the G Spot. We'll put it out there. We'll plug it and promote it wherever we can.
Yeah.
Sure. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right.
We thank you again. We'll definitely be in touch and learning more and growing more with all of our guests. You all can contact us, find out more about us at the G Spot, gspotme.com. We're also at gspotme on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Lots of stuff going on at the G Spot. Y'all check us out. Much more to come. We appreciate you each and every week. Live life, love, and try to do the best you can, y'all. Bilal, we appreciate you. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you so much, and happy birthday over there.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
All right, man. All right. All right. See you soon.
Take care.
Yep.
Thank you. You too. All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye.